Tohan here. Welcome to another episode of my show. Today's guests are these lovely women. Can you introduce yourself, please?
My name is Damilola. Hi, I'm Chanela Nanya.
And my name is Busaya.
Okay. I don't know why all the drama is, but okay. So March is Women's History Month. It's a time where the contributions of women to history and contemporary society are celebrated. Just last Thursday was International Women's Day, and the theme was Press for Progress. Fun fact, the gender report gap from the World Economic Forum reported that we're about 200 years away from gender parity. So this campaigns are really important because now more than ever it's important to work towards achieving a more inclusive environment. So on that note, these women will be sharing their stories and answering a few questions on how they press for progress. Now, before you guys judge me and say, oh, there's no guy here, know that I begged all the guys I know, I begged them, and none of them are great. So, yeah, we have women here, lovely women. Okay, we're getting to the questions now. My first question is for Dami. So, tell us a bit about yourself, your experiences, and why equal rights for women is important to you.
I have to say that equal rights for women is important to me because women are part and parcel of society, and they are embedded in every aspect of society, and we just they're the nuts and bolts, and it's just the machinery that moves society forward. And we have to encourage them. We have to encourage women to be the best that they can be. We as a society, we don't have to place our restrictions of what our perception of what women should be, but we should encourage them as we should push them to be express themselves creatively in every aspect that they want to pursue, or every avenue that they want to pursue. And we have seen the evidence of the contributions of women in every aspect of society, from the sciences to the arts.
That's so true. So my next question is for Chinedu. As a working woman, you're an engineer, right? So particularly in a male-dominated field, what are some of the challenges working women still face today, and why do you think they still face these challenges?
I feel like one of the biggest challenges that I see women facing in, I guess, my field is in a male-dominated field is, number one, please correct me if I'm wrong, but this book called Lean In, it was just kind of like women feeling like their voice isn't being heard in the workplace, and the difficulty of getting the support of their colleagues or their women or whatever the case might be. They don't feel like, oh, when I contribute to a conversation, it's not as value added, and it's not, I don't feel like, oh, well, when such and such says something, oh, everyone's like, oh, yeah, that's a great idea. But if I say something of a similar value, I don't feel like I'm getting that support. And I think that's some of the things that we can do is just in those settings where we do see our fellow sisters or girls or daughters or whatever the case might be, we're encouraging those conversations. We're encouraging that contribution to the conversation. Like, wow, that's a great idea, or wow, I love your idea. Like, what other ideas? Just kind of really building that space. Another piece was also with women having children. It's a thing. Women, end up having a child and they have this medical leave. But I think that the conversation around that can be quite negative. Like, oh, I can't have a child because I might not get that promotion. And just accommodating that. And I think that is just between our policies and companies and really ensuring that we let our women know that they are valuable. Like, even though you had a kid and it might be a step back, you're still valuable. So I think that will be some things we can do.
So when you talk about women feeling like our voices are not heard, when you face that, how do you deal with it?
Personally, when I feel like I am not being heard, I think that it's something that I have to do to myself, right? And you know what? My voice matters. No matter if anyone says anything, if everyone says, oh, that was a great thing, I think that that's a thing that you have to, encourage yourself, in that moment, and probably have conversations like this, like have these conversations and say, you know what, today I felt like I said this thing or I did this thing, and I didn't feel like. What do you think about that statement? And give that encouragement, maybe not in the workplace, but just in your community.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so I think I have a very good example to what she just talked about. I remember I was talking to a friend when I got a job, and I was telling him how I got this great job as a software engineer and all of that. And the next thing he told me was, "Oh, I'm sure you got the job because you're a female, and a lot of guys would have applied for that same position and they didn't get called for the interview." And I was like, "What do you mean?" I sat down for 7 hours of interview to get this job, and I don't think any other person, maybe because he's a guy or something, would have had it for 4 or 5 hours, and it was the same process any other person would have gone through.
Yeah.
They had to go through. But it still felt like, at that point I just felt there's nothing I can say to change his mind. He just believed, okay, because it's a male dominated field, for any woman to be coming in, she has an advantage or something. But then I guess that's what one of the things women fix that.
Yeah. I think it's best to just ignore those people. We don't need negative energy. Okay, so my next question is actually for you, Busayo. What is your advice to parents raising the next generation of women?
Okay, so I feel parents raising a girl child should encourage them to be fearless in the pursuit of their goals or their dreams, whatever aspiration it is they have. They shouldn't feel okay because they are going into something that is considered a male-dominated field. Should hold them back from actually going for it. And I think another thing that can help is telling them to have a female mentor that they look up to, and see okay, if she can do it, I can do it. Probably read books from female authors, all these inspirational books are just details how they were able to go after what they want, irrespective of the challenges they were facing.
And she talked about raising girls and encouraging them to be fearless in their goals. So for you guys, what would you say in your career and in school and basically what you've accomplished? How would you say you were fearless in pursuing what you really wanted?
I would say that I feel like the requirement of being fearless as a female in the areas, like you said, previous question, male-dominated fields. All of us here are engineers, and I think that one thing is the noise. You get stuck with the noise of society saying that women are supposed to be this, that, and the third, and us coming from African backgrounds. I think that our parents sometimes are some of those voices saying that, oh, well, a lady should be doing this kind of career, or this lady should be, thank God we have parents who are, also very encouraging and very academic focused. But I think that being fearless in pursuing those, going into those spaces where, you don't feel like you're welcomed. In classes, I'm sure we were the only Black, only girl, only whatever. And I think that just constantly pursuing that same focus on what Dad said about you are smart, you're capable, you are more than whatever society tells you you are. So I think that's an important space to be very fearless.
So do you guys have anything you guys want to add to that? Okay. Okay, so also you were talking about mentorship. So I actually have a question on that, funny enough. So for all of you guys, how has mentoring or coaching from other women helped you to get to where you are?
Okay, yes. My first job that I had as a consultant, I remember my a senior colleague. She was a she. So she was one of the best we had in the company then, and everyone whenever they had any question, they had to go back to ask her, and she just knew everything. So I was looking if a lady a woman can know all of these things, and even all the senior colleagues, our senior colleagues were coming back to me to ask her questions. So I became close to her because I felt quite alright, she was older, but I just felt walking in her footsteps and just having her mentor me informally. I was able to learn a lot, and I just said if she can do it, then I can too. Yeah. And then she always gave me that kind of pep talk, no, don't worry, you can do it. It just seems this way. Now I also started like you, and after some years, you see we're doing way more than I'm doing right now, and so that really helped me. So even long after I left the company, I still look back. Hi, Kim, and then you can watch this. I didn't watch this, but you played a very major role in my life.
How about you guys?
Well, if you ask, if you're asking, I feel like I also had a mentor, but it was actually in middle school for me. And she just kind of I don't know what it was about me, but she was just like, I'm going to mentor her. She seems like she needs a lot of help. So I was just fortunate enough to kind of have somebody in those preliminary ages, where you are kind of dealing with low self-esteem and dealing with you're not smart enough, or you're not good enough, or you're not whatever the case might be. Having somebody who's just really hard on you and saying, like, are you going to really quit? You're going to be a quitter? Like, you're going to quit? And just kind of being constantly told, like, oh no, you're smart, you're just being lazy. That's what you're doing. So definitely, a little earlier on in my life, I was lucky to have a woman who just kind of like said, oh no, like, you're not gonna quit, oh, you're capable, you're smart.
Yeah, I think for me it's actually the opposite. I actually didn't have as many female mentors, but the thing was that I was actually I had the opportunity of mentoring other younger females, and so for me, just being able to like mentor them and actually like I've already seen the path, I've already gone through that path, and mentoring them to actually pursue and go through that path was like it was a good way for me to also impact like other females, other women like who are also coming up to like that level and pursue it also.
I think it's really important to have that powerful woman in your life you look up to. This is my last question, and I'm just going to throw it out there to you guys. As people who are passionate about women empowerment, what would you say is important to you in choosing your life partner?
I would say that the main thing that's important to me when I'm going to choose my life partner would be someone who's encouraging and unrestricted, who sees me for who I am and who encourages me. Like if I want to pursue anything, like my heart desires, like he does not impose society's restrictions on like what I want to pursue. Like because of their perception or his perception of what he thinks I can pursue, he just gives me the room to pursue it. Even if I make mistakes, he gives me the room to pursue it. And that's why I say someone who's encouraging and unrestricted and willing to listen and open-minded.
Yeah, and on to that point, just being aware, of the societal issues that we are facing as women. I think that there's a lot of ignorance from, other genders, and kind of being aware of kind of the situations and the societal, like you mentioned, the societal normality that we call it. And for me, somebody who is not only aware, but encouraging, understanding of the fact that, and supportive of pushing my visions, my goals, my dreams, what I want to pursue, what I want, my full potential, and pushing me towards that, giving me the space to be that, is definitely something I think is incredibly important in a life partner.
How about you, Busai? Do you have anything to add to that?
No.
Okay. So that's it, guys. I'm done with my questions. Thank you guys so much for being here. I feel like I've learned a lot just from you guys sharing. So finally, I'd like to end with this quote by Malala Yousafzai. I hope I'm pronouncing this right. I checked the pronunciation. I'm really trying. I raise up my voice, not so I can shout, but so those without a voice can be heard. We cannot succeed when half of us are held back. So whoever you are, if you are watching this, I want you to think about how you are supporting other women and the women in your life. So thank you guys for watching my show. Thank you guys for coming once again. Don't forget to leave a comment, share, like, subscribe. And as always, remember, impossible is not.